Hi guys, it's Soph. Today, we're going to be talking about chronic illness. I know, it's such a surprise. Really shocking that I would talk about something like this. I don't know why I would, but here we are. No, but in all seriousness, this is a topic I haven't really talked about on YouTube very often. I don't think I haven't talked about it at all on YouTube. That's why I'm making this video, but I address it on different social media platforms, but I feel like it's easier for me just to explain as well as possible in a YouTube video so that I can maybe refer people to it who get a little bit confused or ask why. So let's get started. I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I want it to be easy to digest, and I want it to make sense for people. And I just want to make a disclaimer that, first of all, I don't speak for the entire chronic illness community. Someone who's chronically ill might feel differently than I do about this. And also, I'm not really not trying to attack able-bodied people, or people without a chronic illness or disability. Yeah, I'm just really trying to talk about my experience with this topic, and if you guys feel differently, you can tell me or not tell me, be angry about it or be not angry about it, but these are really just my thoughts. So, topic is that I constantly get called strong and inspirational on my social medias, mostly social media, maybe sometimes in real life, but not very often. I'll give a little backstory on why. First of all, I don't always feel strong all the time, so to be called a strong person kind of weirds me out a little bit because I don't show my whole life and what my illness is all about on the internet because I wouldn't have the time, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I was hospitalized for the first time, for a long time I guess. I was hospitalized for about 2 weeks when I was first diagnosed, and that was probably the first time I experienced a 10 on the pain scale, and I was on a lot of pain medication in the hospital, and I was crying a lot, and I felt really lost. Yeah, I mean, strong to me implies that you're tough as nails, that you would never cry, that I'm just kind of this person who is very stoic and sits through it all without complaining. And that's completely untrue, and that's like so fine. That's totally fine. I get tired, I get sick, like super sick, overwhelmingly sick. Sometimes I have to get hospitalized, sometimes I have to get infusions, and I get blood drawn and all kinds of other stuff, and sometimes it puts me in a horrible mood, and I take it out on people sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not always fair to people who are trying to help me as I navigate my chronic illness, and that's why I don't like being called strong. It's because I'm a multi-dimensional person, and it's okay for me not to be strong all the time. I don't have to not cry, and when people call me strong, I usually feel like they're putting some kind of expectation on me or how I feel about my illness, which is kind of weird to think about. That's why I don't like strong, because I've been weak at times, and that's fine, and I don't need someone to tell me that, oh, you're not weak. No, I have been weak. I have been. My emotions spike up and down just like everyone else's, so some days, yeah, I might be feeling super strong. Other days, I might be feeling really weak, and both are fine, and there's also a middle ground, and that's fine too. So, yeah, that's why I don't like being called strong. Then being called an inspiration. So, first of all, I don't really have a problem with being called an inspiration for some things, but it's a little weird for me when someone tells me that my illness inspires them, because I know it's well intended. I don't believe for a moment that people say things without the best intent, but it does at the end of the day boil down to kind of like, oh, your suffering, your illness is making me a better person or a better human being, me being the able-bodied person. So that's a very weird feeling. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it other than just weird, because it just feels odd to be told by someone else that my pain or sickness is uplifting them. It's just kind of weird. It makes me feel a little gross sometimes. I don't know. I feel like there's so many things you can compliment me on or say that I'm an inspiration for. Like, here's some things you can compliment me on. instead of saying that I'm strong when I post a hospital photo or if I talk about being in the hospital or being chronically ill, you could say, hey, your article on this on your site gave me a lot of perspective and I'm going to start paying attention to what I say or trying this myself. If it's specifically targeted for chronically ill people, but it's for able people too. I've gotten messages that said, thank you for pointing this out to me. I'm going to make an effort to stop saying those kinds of things. I take that as a compliment for sure. I always am trying to make a difference, and I get very flattered when someone tells me that something I've written or something that I've talked about has motivated them to approach chronic illness in a different, revamped, new kind of way. So just tell me that my outfit looks cool, or that my selfies are nice, or that you like my eyebrows. Those are all valid, good compliments too. So, and it really does mean the world to me that I can hopefully make some kind of difference, but okay, this is something that happened this past week, but I was told by an able-bodied person on Instagram in a comment that I reminded them of her dead friend, reminded her of her dead friend, a friend who had died of an illness, and I don't know what part of that is a compliment. Maybe she was trying to imply that we had the same attitude about our illnesses. I don't know, but that followed up with, and so you're an inspiration to me now, instead of my friend, which was very odd, because it's never really a compliment when someone tells you that they remind you of someone who's no longer alive, especially someone who's had an illness and died of an illness. Yeah, so that was very weird for sure. Also, I've been told that my illness motivates people. My illness reminds them how lucky they are to be healthy. And I'm not gonna lie, that really actually stings. Because, yeah, I wish I was healthy too. Damn. Amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like able-bodied people should not look at chronically ill people or disabled people as reminders to be grateful of their own health. I think you can appreciate and enjoy your health at your own leisure. And if my suffering or if my illness inspires you to be grateful or think more about things, then go ahead and think that, but don't relay it to me because I just don't appreciate it. I don't think it's a compliment, and it makes me feel very odd if an able-bodied person tells me something like that. I remember once I got told that by an able-bodied person that they had the flu, and that my illness reminded them how lucky they are to not be sick every single day. That was a lot, actually. That wasn't even a little, it was a lot. Stuff like that is just kind of inappropriate to say, I think. I'm not here to serve as a reminder to be grateful for your own health, and no chronically ill person is there for that, so yeah. And I mean, of course I want very badly to raise awareness for chronically ill people. I guess maybe people are asking, okay, why are you making this video, because it's kind of bashing healthy raising awareness, but I truly am not trying to bash anyone here. I'm not naming names for a reason, and I'm naming situations that have happened to me several times in a row, and I'm just using a few anonymous examples to elaborate on my point. But yeah, I want very badly to raise awareness for chronically ill people, and so let me just say that if you are an able-bodied person and you are messaging people through Instagram, Twitter, online, if you're messaging sick people online, if you're commenting on sick people's photos and telling them that they're strong or how lucky they are to be healthy, I would say full stop. Stop. People vary. Not everyone will be insulted by it, but from what I know, I'm pretty sure most chronically ill people don't appreciate reading that kind of comment or message. So yeah, there's so many things you can compliment me on again. But yeah, I mean, essentially saying things like that makes me and a lot of other chronically ill people feel like we'll only ever be seen for our illnesses. And I mean, I get it. I'm writing about chronic illness and raising awareness for it, but I am a lot more than that too. And I love to write. I love music. I am an art student, though I can't play violin anymore. I enjoy BuzzFeed Unsolved, love the Zodiac Killer episode. I do too many face masks and I leave them on too long. I have way too many lip balms. I wear socks to bed even in the summer. Those are things you might not have known about me if you know me just from the internet. And if you do know me from the internet, there are probably things you'll never know about me, and that is just fine because it's the internet. But you will encounter chronically ill people in real life. And so, to all the abled people who may be watching this, here's some things you could say instead, like, how are you doing today? Or, I hope you're feeling alright. Or, I hope you're having a good day. Or, I hope you're feeling okay. Yeah, I would just say maybe check in on a friend who's chronically ill, tell them you care about them, ask them if there's anything you can do for them. And that is so appreciated. Like, I appreciate that infinitely when a friend offers to do something for me, or my family does, because I just can't that day. That's great. Just know that I and every other chronically ill person we're all multifaceted. We're all very different. We enjoy being appreciated for our talents and our beauty and our interests, but we just generally don't like being complimented on our illnesses, because illness is a negative part of my existence, and I try to focus on the positive parts. We get enough talk about our illnesses in the doctor's office, or in the operating room, or on the exam table. So next time you want to reach out to a chronically ill person, if you're interested in them as a person, or if you find them to be inspiring in some manner, that's fine, but I just wouldn't suggest using the word strong or inspirational. Compliment them on something they've written or created, or something they've talked about, or just a photo they've taken. There's so many things you can tell people to be nice without mentioning something as sensitive as a chronic illness. So yeah, and chronically ill people, if that makes you comfortable to not stand up when someone tells you that you're strong, that's okay. But I hope that you're able to work through it, and at some point maybe get to a point where you can tell people what you like and don't like. I'd love to be your inspiration for hair or makeup or whatever, but I'm not an inspiration for being sick. Maybe I can inspire you in the way I approach things or my mindset, but then tell me that. Just don't tell me point blank with no other explanation that I'm an inspiration, because I'll usually just take that as, oh, I guess I'm just interesting because of my illness. Chronically ill people are complex human beings, just like the rest of the world's population that isn't chronically ill, and we deserve to be treated the same, I think. That's just my opinion, but I also wrote an article about this, and I'll link it below. And I wrote an article about this kind of topic, and I'll link it down below. I think it'll probably, if you enjoy reading, it'll probably be better for you to comprehend, because it's hard for me to kind of articulate this issue since it's so huge. You could do 10 TED Talks on it and still not cover everything, but I hope that was of some help, or that you learned something watching this. And if you have opinions or suggestions for what to say to chronically ill people instead of you're an inspiration or you're strong, I guess put them in the comment section, because I'd love to hear new suggestions. Always. And no, I'm not mad at abled people, and if you have called someone strong in the past and now you're feeling guilty about it, you shouldn't, because it's not really your fault. It's something that people say all the time, and it's an easy thing to say to someone, I think. Just know that it's probably not the best thing to say, and make a fresh start. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Once again, I just want to say I don't speak for the whole chronic illness community, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another video, or maybe I won't, because I'm not a very good YouTuber. But I hope you learned something today, and until next time.